All right. Hello and welcome, everybody. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, depending on where in the world you're coming from. My name is Doyle Bueller, and today we're live streaming Decoded. The question we want to ask today is live streaming just as easy on an app as on a laptop or a desktop? Is one better than the other? Can I do everything that I need on an app when I'm live streaming from my business? And what do I need to watch out for if live streaming with just an app? My name is Doyle Bueller, and I'm with my co-host Keith Keller of Livestreaming Decoded, and we're talking about what's really important here on Livestreaming Decoded, what we call our live streaming ABC, audience building content, and we're going to be showing you how you can get directly involved as well. So in this special edition of Livestreaming Decoded, we'll get to meet Johnny Kapos and Irene. Irene, she just wants to be known as Irene. Johnny's joining us from Sydney, and Irene all the way from Connecticut in the U.S., where it's still Wednesday. So we're coming to you from the future over there. And we're merging live stream on mobile. Johnny's doing some brilliant things, selling chocolate, and Irene brings the tech to the talk as well. And my co-host, Keith Keller, is considered by many to be one of the world's leading authorities on Twitter marketing, especially Twitter video marketing. My name is Doyle Bueller. I run a strategic digital marketing consultancy where we are creating real-time, connected, and adaptive digital challenger brands in this disruptive digital economy. We've been doing podcasts and live stream for years and want to share our journey with you. So let's dig in. Johnny, welcome. Irene, welcome. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Go for it, Irene. Ladies first.
Yeah, let's play that card over here. Yeah, all right, okay, let's go. So yes, my name is Irene. I do have a last name. It's Lyakovetsky, so I will not bother our esteemed host and audience with spelling this last name first forward and backward. So yes, I originally come from Russia, so accent is really Russian, but I lived in the United States for about 27 years now.
Wow.
Right? So this accent is going to stay no matter where I live and how good I feel. So this is what I do. But yeah, thanks so much for including. So I met Keith Keller last week. I met Doyle today. And I'm still excited by the fact that I'm here. So thanks. Good. Yeah, I had a long career in tech. Right, I worked for IBM for many years, for some other company before that, and I'm on my own after that. So I do host Soga Talks, a business and tech talk, and Keith was very kindly participating last week in our talk about working from home, how we feel about pandemic, how we feel about business and tech going forward. So that's Irene over here. Yep, thank you.
All right, well, thank you so much for joining us, Irene. Really appreciate it. And it is a little bit later for you over there. But I do feel the same about the accent. I'm kind of merged into the Australian livelihood, but I don't have an Australian accent. I just have a Canadian one, so not quite as good as John and Keith. All right, John, tell us a little bit about yourself, please.
Well, g'day, everyone. And mate, Keith and Doyle, thanks so much for inviting me. And g'day, Irene. How are you? My name is John Kapos, and they call me AKA Chocolate Johnny. I'm a third-generation chocolatier and run a family business that we started back in 1939. And I say through the power of social media, we've taken a small retail, wholesale chocolate business into a global brand. And in that, with social media, with the power of it, I've become a brand as well. So, yeah, I just sit here and now help coach, mentor small business owners around the world, entrepreneurs, the up-and-coming entrepreneurs, and even the oldie entrepreneurs that we are, and just live the dream in social. I love live streaming, so that's my passion. I think and I'm so glad I'm here because live streaming for me is a must, especially now with the pandemic. But prior to that, you had to be a live streamer.
Yeah, no, cool. And we wanted to be able to talk about, people in the trenches, in the businesses, in the retail sector, as they've sort of been forced to adapt, but yet you've kind of been doing that for quite some time. So really cool to get into this. Keith, did you want to add a few comments before we get rolling?
Yeah. Before we get started, I just wanted to say thank you to Irene and Johnny, and just again to reiterate that, I'm in Melbourne, Doyle's in Perth, but he's from Canada. Johnny's in Sydney, but we're calling him the Gary V of chocolate because he has taken all of this stuff in an environment where his peers are still selling things with cash and people have to come into the shop, which is still a viable model. John has embraced social media and become a living legend and a world famous entrepreneur in the social space for retail. So this is a real life example of someone who has embraced the technology that we have at our disposals, especially now. Melbourne just went into severe lockdown last night, 12 p.m. For 6 weeks, we cannot leave our houses unless we're getting some food or going for a walk. And so if I want to buy stuff, I have to buy it online. I can't go to the shops. So businesses have to adjust to this. Irene's going to talk about the tech element of that. John's going to talk about the app element of that. And this particular show, which is part 13 of a 10-part series, we just keep going. We just find new things to talk about. I think we'll be just doing it over and over and over again, won't we?
Yeah, there's so much to talk about.
And I like chocolate, so I have so much in common with the group over here that basically makes me very special.
Yeah, cool. And just before we get started as well, welcome Linda Ray. She's our super fan from Connecticut as well. So, hey, maybe the two of you should connect. I don't know if you know each other.
And we will. We certainly will.
Yeah. Excellent. So thanks everybody for joining us on the live session. If you want to be watching on replay, ask us some questions. Replay, please ask questions now if you are watching live. We'd love to have some insight in terms of real world, real businesses, real life type thing. And we've got some amazing experts here on the show today as well. So please, I encourage you to ask away. All right. So let's talk about a little bit about the story behind live streaming. Irene, you've been doing it for a bit. How long, and what have sort of been the highlights and lowlights of your experience with live stream?
Okay, Doyle, I'm in a very early stage adapter, I would say. All right. It was always my dream. I am watching numerous very successful live streaming hosts and their guests. And when I'm walking outside, when I'm doing something around the house, when I'm exercising. So I'm a huge fan and entering this world from really fascinating capabilities and possibilities for everyone over there, right? So when I started my talk show this January, before the whole digital move to Zoom, before the whole world actually discovered a lot of new in new environments. So I didn't think of live streaming, but guess what? Now I am recording my Zoom conversations, and I have freedom to sort of turn and use the conversation however I want and however my wonderful guests allow me to do. But at the same time, this is not like live streaming, not what we're doing right now, because there is no this kind of feel of, hey, there's people out there, people who are spending few minutes of their time with you. And it's immense privilege, I think, Doyle, right? For you and Keith and John, if you're doing this, right? This is completely different.
Let me pick up on what you've just said there, because I was on Irene's really cool show called Soga Talks last week. And she mentioned that she spends quite a lot of time walking around the house listening to these live streams because they're very engaging. And, you know, I personally think that the idea of pre-recording videos and then loading them to YouTube and expecting people to watch it's a sort of it's becoming a bit cumbersome. So now we have this idea where we're live streaming. It goes live as we're recording it. So right from the first second, you're getting engagement, which means that the load on the business owner, this is why it's so important, and I want to get Johnny's thoughts on this, the load on the business owner for creating content means that we create content, it's live now. When the replay finishes, it's done and dusted. You can get back to work. You don't have to do any editing at all. And so Irene's very new to the idea of live streaming, but Johnny's been doing it for ages, mate. How have you found it? And am I right in saying that this is just the better way to create content?
It's a good question. I'm a 50-50. Because I love live streaming, and the part of live streaming I love is that it's natural. You goof, you make mistakes, you drop the mic, and people are sick and tired of that prefabricated recorded stuff and go, man, I love this guy. I love the Irene. Oh my God, she's so lovely. And she dropped a mic and made a joke and then, oh, look at Doyle, he's laughing and you're constantly on the go and things happen and people just love it. I call this live streaming is the real reality shows. This is it. This is the real reality shows. But in the same time, if you've got a really good live stream and you recorded it, man, you can chop it up and put it up onto Instagram Live. You can put it up onto your YouTube channel, and it's still there. I love video as well. I think there's nothing wrong with a small business or any business doing a really good video. But my heart is definitely the live stream. I mean, I've been very successful with it, and I really encourage a lot of people. And I'm so happy that Irene's now taken hold of it and really going for it. And just, you're going to make the mistakes. This is what I really want to tell people. This is a big thing, is you're going to make mistakes. You're going to stuff it up. You're going to push the button. It's not going to work, and text takes over. But just keep doing it. It is very, it brought back passion back into my business. I think it can bring passion back into your business. Yeah. I mean, look at the times that we have right now where things are really tough. And someone sitting in Melbourne right now who's 6 weeks into their, in 2 weeks' time, people are going to be going crazy. How unreal would it be to see some guy in his Thai restaurant cooking up a meal for the takeaway that they've actually ordered, or a barber who's allowed to bring in a couple of people and he's talking about a certain haircut, and a nail girl doing stuff. There's so many other businesses who can have their episode 4,444 today of me doing something. And you know what? That might be some of the most hopeless stuff you've watched, but people are watching you. People are learning from you. People are engaging in you. People are Irene said, she's walking around, she's listening, and then you actually stop and you want to type in, hey, what about this? How do you do this? So, I like I said, video is fantastic and awesome. Live is just way above it. And the great thing is, record it like you do on a Zoom, and then post it up onto your YouTube or your Instagram Live or your IGTV or wherever you want.
Yeah.
I just have to remind everyone, if I may here, okay, doing Zoom is also new, okay? So I had a long year in worldwide marketing in one of the biggest vendors on earth, all right? I was a proud IBMer for so many years. And as part of that effort, we did very scripted, very highly edited videos, okay? So just to understand the progress I'm making here, all right, please, for those who were born in the cloud and born digitally, okay, and cannot think without actually typing something in and, posting somewhere, really, I came a long way, so I have some excuses to kind of weave in sort of on my own pace, but I'm with you, absolutely, John. This is all very exciting. Yeah.
I'm going to throw to you in a minute.
Opportunity. Yeah,
I'm going to throw to you in a minute, Doyle, but I really want to pick up on what you just said there. So Irene has come from an environment. Let's really play this out. Irene has come from an environment where everything was scripted and had to get signed off by 3 levels of people before you could even say hello.
It wasn't that bad, but it was very pre-rehearsed, I would say. All right, so highly priced production, right? And we're moving to authenticity and kind of being who we are. Mm-hmm.
But you watch John stream, and he's making caramel today, and he goes, "Mate, it's on there. There it is. It's like we're making it, and here it is, and you can put ice cream on it, and there's a donut, and here's a really cool chocolate bicky. And why don't you come into the shop, and we're making them now, like they're hot. They're hot right now. Come into the shop and make them donuts. Now." Hot donuts with ice cream and a bit of chocolate bicky. And the thing that's very exciting here is that Doyle, all the way from day one, the first show, was talking about the idea of the Thai restaurant who said, look, we're making stir fry today. Come in tonight and watch us making our stir fries. And I know that you're in lockdown, and we'll cook it, we'll deliver it, no worries. We got you. Just be very, very clear, we're in 6 weeks lockdown starting today. We cannot leave our houses for 6 weeks, almost the end of August, for 4 reasons. We can go and get food, we can go for a walk, we can go to work if we have to work, and we can go to school. But other than that, we can't have people in our houses, we can't go for a drive, we can't go to the shops. And so businesses need to adjust to, I want to eat. I want to support your business, but I can't leave my house. So make it easy for me. And John's like leading the charge. And Doyle, I want you to pick up on this because it picks up on everything we've said, hasn't it?
Well, exactly, and that's why you kind of need to adapt the business to what the economy and what the circumstances are. And I love the idea, John, about having a business where you can show people. That's exactly what you're doing. Something like what Keith and I do, not so exciting. Excuse me, but when you're making stuff in a kitchen, like, to me, that's a huge digital experience, and I talk about that a lot. It's on my main board back here, but creating that experience it's easy with live streaming, and you've got that capability. So for me, we need to see more of that. We need to see the restaurants and the cafes and the baristas and the confectionery and all that do more of this. But Johnny, you need to send chocolate to Keith, though.
Do you guys remember a platform called Blab? Does that ring a bell?
Yeah, years ago.
Yeah. So I used Blab quite a lot. I had my own show on it, and I called it the Chocolate Show. I actually had, it was 4 screens like we are right now, but I had access to those 4 screens. So one with the top where Doyle was, that was me. Where Irene was the actual shop. Down where I am was the chocolate tank making, and then where Keith was my manager Trudy. And all we did, here's the big thing: do not sell, show. Do not sell, but just show. That will sell itself. So when all we did was we talked about what we were making and how we're doing everything. Man, we were getting the app, my PayPal app was just going ding, 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 ding. I'm like, oh, hang on a moment. This works. Now, the other day, Doyle was saying, all these cafes and these restaurants, and Keith is so right. These people are going to be hungry in a couple of weeks. So you need to be getting on any type of platform, a live streaming, and put the camera, your phone, and this is what we're going to talk about. Is it the app, or do we do, how do we do the app compared to, your desktop? Put a phone up there. I'm on TikTok at the moment. I'm heavily onto TikTok. I'm live streaming TikTok. I spent an hour while people were watching me make hot chocolates, mochas, and serving. I mean, it was fantastic. And from there, I had a big following. From there, I had sales as well. Did I tell people once to buy? Not once. Did I tell people to, you got to do what I do? No, I just engaged with everyone. I just show and you can sell.
Yeah,
John, but this is not fair, okay? When you're in the line of business of chocolate, okay? Please,
you don't need to sell chocolate
here, okay? I come from enterprise software world, and I can tell you that seeing on the screen how developer are putting an app together, all right, or reconfiguring business process for a bank. Okay, as much as it's a great fun for me and maybe a few of my colleagues, people would not be skipping their dinners and rushing into your store to click a couple of times to buy that software.
Well, Irene, I think that there's a huge partnership here. Just add John's chocolates to your servers and
here we go. That's what we're all about. Collaborations.
No, that's 100%. We have a few comments from Linda. I just want to quickly go through those. Question: how are y'all managing content creation? And have him make a donut now, please. Johnny, can you do that? Can you make us a donut? Or a covered donut?
I'm at the shop right now. I should go get something.
Yeah, really. Make us all hungry. Don't sell. Just show. Show us your chocolates.
Don't sell. Just show.
Yeah, you're making Linda hungry. All right. Anyway, so let's go more to the sort of the app side. How are we using apps? What's your setup, Johnny?
Oh, mate, I've used. I'm an early adopter, Doyle, and Keith knows this as well. I'm constantly trawling through the app library and whatever comes out. And if I hear something, I wrote down a list of sort of the apps I've used. At the moment, the app I'm using the most is TikTok. I'm using Instagram Live, and I use Facebook Live, but all through my phone, all through the phone. And of course, good old Twitter, Periscope, one of my favorites. It's really gave me the success that I had. Periscope, I use that a lot on my phone.
Well, that's good. Do you find that there's restrictions in that? Like, I don't know. Tell us your process. Did you just pick it up and away you
gosh,
went?
It's what's my demographics? I have a 5-year-old kid up to a 105-year-old buying my product. So I'm quite lucky in that genre. I've got men and women all eat chocolate, old, young, it doesn't matter. My process is basically I just go live. I just hit the button. My philosophy is push the start a broadcast button. Someone's going to watch you. Someone's going to listen. You have a story, and we all need to hear it. So go and tell it. So the basically I just tripod, light, hit the button, go live, and see what happens. I think when I do the other stuff, I do.
Go ahead.
Yes. So no, you go.
No, go ahead, please.
No, I was going to say at Christmas, I do a thing called 25 Days of Christmas. We do a virtual advent calendar, and so I do that sometimes from the desktop. I just sit like this, and oh, hang on a moment, hang on. Oh, look what I've got. It's a box of chocolates. You're going to get this. This is day 21. Wow, blah, blah, that type of thing.
So you market. You're still marketing. You're not selling. You're still marketing, though. Like chocolates sell themselves, right?
Chocolates
but you've still kind of creating that environment, that awareness of your product as well, which is fascinating. But do you plan your shows ahead? Just sort of answering the question.
So I plan the shows when it's in the seasonal stuff. So when we're talking about Easter, Mother's Day, Father's Day, Christmas, that type, we sit down with a team and my wife, Eva, and we go, right, what are we doing? What do we need to schedule? How are we going to do it? What products are we going to promote? And remember, promoting by not selling it, but just showing it and telling everyone, taking people behind the scenes, doing, hey, guys, it's Q&A time. We're going to come live in 1 hour. We're ready. Get your questions ready. We're excited. Oh, my God, I'm fumbling, blah, and bang, I just turn it off. And they're like, what? Huh? What? Hey, what happened? So that type, yes. And then I think more if you're similar stuff for Irene, I think she'd be more scheduled, going, okay, today this is what we're doing. I think for more Irene stuff and the techie guys, they would be perfect for scheduling. So every Monday we're doing, Matic Monday. Tuesday is Tech Tuesday. Wednesday is, Workshop Wednesday. Thursday is, something. And Friday is we're finished and let's party, that type of thing. But scheduling, yes and no. So I schedule on Facebook and then I don't on the other stuff.
Can I ask you a question, Johnny? Because this particular show is very interesting because we've done 12 shows so far, and they've all been with with software, with StreamYard, with Zoom, with Restream. We know specifically what it feels like to use software, and we know that there's advantages where you can record it and get a recording. Sent to your hard drive. You can schedule ahead. You can have guests. But what can you do with apps that are similar to this? Or do you just like the one-on-one show?
I like the one-on-one show, but Instagram have just hit it out of the ballpark. You go on Instagram Live, that records it for you so you can put it onto your phone, and then you could actually take that recording straight away and put it onto IGTV. So all of a sudden, this is a big game changer. These boys are smart. And I thought Snapchat was going to do that, get into live, and they still haven't. I think TikTok are looking at doing something similar, where you'll do your live. And remember, on TikTok, you only have to have 1,000 followers, whereas on Instagram you can have as many as you like, and on Facebook you can have as many as you like. But I see TikTok saying, hey, let's do what they're doing, because Instagram is really starting to get traction with this. I mean, the other day I just did one with my son just for fun. And I thought, you know what, stuff it, let's just put it up there anyway. And it got, 1,000 views. I'm like, okay, great.
Do you plan your content, Irene? And
I am
do you
planning my
plan it?
content. Yes,
Yeah.
guilty as charged. Okay, so I'm not planning it heavily. It doesn't take me months and years. All right, but please give me some time here. I'm an emerging butterfly. Okay, from very corporate, many years. Okay, into something where I can put myself out there and become on-screen talent rather than off-screen, okay? Because I can talk about backstage, those stage shows, all right? And I love being a producer of those shows, finding subject matter experts, finding the topic, hosting the panel discussions. At the time when we used to go to conferences, okay, in our past lives. So all I'm saying is that my long journey led me to getting in front of the camera. So yes, my background is very scheduled and very prepared, and I'm patting myself on the back that I am not heavily preparing anymore. All right.
Can I ask a question, Irene? How have you found that transition from that corporate? Because I've worked corporate many years ago. I'm so glad I'm not anymore. But how have you found that transition from corporate now going to your own business? And then and being able to do what you can do. Has it been a hard adjustment, or are you just taking it step by step?
How time do we have, actually? Yeah.
Take all of it.
So the short version, which will only take us 45 minutes. I mean, I think we can spare 45 minutes. So yeah, John, thanks so much. So what happened is, in the corporate world, I was kind of uncorporate as well. All right. So that gave me, yeah. So I have, guilty as charged, meaning that, exactly. I was the rule breaker and I was not following all the guidelines properly. Sorry, my corporate colleagues over there. Yes, you know me. So I acquired so many friends and wonderful people I'm tapping on nowadays, because, hey, corporate does not mean too bad. Okay. It means that you have some freedom to be yourself. And I used every opportunity, right? When I wanted to put a panel discussion on stage, all right, I had some freedom picking out only the best speakers, only the best people I knew. So that kind of continued, all right? So I was not like suit wearing, like all button up and kind of, this type is type.
Can I jump in there and ask Doyle what he thinks the trends are there? Because what's really interesting here is we've got Johnny, who jumps on his phone and live streams chocolate in the shop, which is just the extremely coolest thing I've ever heard of. And we've got Irene, who's making the adjustment from the extremely scripted corporate world. And in the middle, we're finding that most people are somewhat in this melting pot. What are you finding, Doyle? Where are people sitting and how are they adjusting?
Well, I think a lot of people honestly are quite feeling stuck in terms of businesses. They're not sure what to do or what not to do, and they're looking for something to go ahead and try it. And I think that's why Keith and I have actually created our live streaming challenge coming up. But what we wanted to do was create a safe environment, and I think a lot of businesses really need that. There are a lot of buttons to push. There are a lot of things that can go wrong, and if you're not really prepared for it, you know what, you're worried about, oh, well, people are going to see me. And I think, John, you've kind of overcome that. But I think that a lot of people don't get to that point yet. I've been doing live streams since 2016, podcasts before that, and I still know even today I might press the wrong button, or something doesn't work, or the show crashes, or whatever, and it's like,
and that happens.
So to me, it's more, and it's interesting because you see this push. We're kind of getting pushed by all this COVID and recession and all that kind of stuff. I call it an inflection point, because we're getting pushed. We have the opportunity to kind of jump off this downward curve. And do something about it. But what I've found is that not everybody is quite ready. There are some companies that they get it right away. You know what? They embrace the live streaming. They do what they know they need to do. But then there's other companies, like, they haven't done anything. Like 4 months later, companies are going bankrupt now because that's about they ran out of cash, basically. But they haven't decided, let's do this now. Like Cirque du Soleil in Canada. Like, if you think of the content that they have, available to set up live streaming and shows and all this kind of stuff.
Let me pick up on that exact example. Let me pick on it because we need to play one against the other. You yesterday said do and do not. Now do not actually spells donut, which actually fits back to Johnny, but do not.
We were talking about ice cream flavors yesterday.
Do not.
We do that as well.
Okay.
Yeah. So Cirque, how do you say it? Cirque du Soleil?
Cirque du Soleil.
They were a performing business, and they couldn't make the shift, and now they are gone.
Well, they're in bankruptcy protection. Let me be clear.
That's right.
They haven't failed yet, but they need
Okay.
investors.
Okay, so they're at the first stage of sort of conceding defeat, but they may come back.
Yes.
Whereas another person, not my personal friend, but a legend, Ash Grundwell, lives in Byron Bay. He does live streams on the internet in his studio. Same deal. He's a performer. He usually drives around the country performing in small pubs all over Australia and the world. He's decided, I'm going to flip this. He uses Ecamm. He charges $20. He gets 1,000 people. And they tune into his YouTube channel on a Saturday night, and he does a gig. Now he's embraced it. He's now on his third gig in like 6 weeks, and next week it's another one on the 18th of July. He's doing another gig, and he's embraced this idea. Now there's two businesses that are coexisting in time. One couldn't make the shift and may struggle. Ash, legend, has made the shift. There are examples of people doing it. And I want to bring out on this show the examples of people doing it. And that's exactly why we have the challenge. We're doing a 10-day challenge to say, look, it might be scary to go from the scripted version of video that you're used to the let's just talk about chocolate on your phone video. And there's a big gap in between. But this is the new future we're facing. I want to buy your stuff, but I can't leave my house. So make it easy for me to actually play. Am I on the right track here? I mean, am I being too hard on businesses, or how do people create these experiences so that I can buy your chocolate, and I don't have to go to your shop?
Yeah, Keith, if I may, I would like to ask about skills though, because even putting a simple video, because when John talking about it, it sounds like it's a walk in the park, all right? And I know this phone, this tripod is not standing right, and the light is horrible, and your face looks like you are 500 years old, and you're not getting younger with every shoot you make, and then all that, right? So all that thing is, yes, the technology making it all accessible and available for more of us, for sure, right? At the same time, what kind of minimal skills and that kind of minimal value product, let me use software terminology here, is okay to start doing something like that?
Yeah, what's the minimum viable product? What's the minimum viable, absolutely guaranteed sort of place to start? It's a great question. You want to answer that, John and Doyle?
Go, Doyle.
You go, John. You're the guest.
What's the vibe? I'd have to think about that because what's happened to me is that with me being on Periscope and Instagram Live and everyone getting to know me, I've now become a coach and a mentor for all these small businesses. And going back to it, and sort of what Irene was saying, I know there's a lot of these massive businesses who need to get their CEO out in front on the screen, and they won't do it. They won't do it. And I like what Irene's about, that she's the typical person there who's going to be taking a bull by the horns. I'm going against the rules, and I'm going to get on live streaming. And so, there's a lot of guys out there that need to get on and are just too afraid. And I know you guys are doing the challenge as well.
What do you think, I can speak for the entire tech world here in Irene's face. Yes, the entire tech industry. Normally, those guys and ladies and everyone in between, they are not on-screen talent. Okay, it's not what they're comfortable with. It's not where they feel natural. It's not what their authenticity is, So let's give, yeah.
Okay, I get that, and I understand that. So when I was saying to a CEO, you got to get out there and show your face, he says, I'm not doing it. I'm too afraid. I don't have the confidence. Da 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 da. I said, great. Get your 2IC in there. Get your secretary in there. Get the guy on the floor who is sweeping the floor, who loves this business and is passionate about it, to talk. He'll do it.
Yeah, I was about to say that, John. When you speak, we feel that you're passionate about your business, and you don't need to have special skills to kind of project that energy, right? And that's the start, don't you think?
And that's really where it's at too, is overcoming that fear or that concern. But guess what? If you honestly, Johnny, as you're saying though, you've got this in your pocket, the pocket of your pants. So why can't the CEO just pick it up and go, right? And obviously it doesn't fit for every company because you do have sort of that brand image type thing. But we know the tech. It's not that hard. You press go live, but the hardest part is pressing that go live button, to be quite honestly. And as
let's pick up on another example that's very, very inspiring. Jacinda Ardern, New Zealand's Prime Minister, right? Now she is at the top of the tree. In every other country in the world, there's procedure and there's sort of rules. She gets out in the gumboots in the park and visits a guy who's got a dairy farm and says, mate, how's it going? Are you all right? Just wanted to check in, driving past, get the gumboots out. What a winner. She's so engaging. She's so real. She just has a chat.
Sorry to interrupt, Keith. I was scrolling through my TikToks and that, and there she was with these boys at a school, and they're screaming out to her, going, Auntie Jacinta, come. And she walked up. She goes, hey boys, how are you? She said, can you be on my TikTok? Yeah, sure. And they were just chatting and having a laugh. And I got to give her credit. The other guy, as you give an example, was a guy who crushed Periscope was. And Doyle's going to know this because Eva, my wife's from Montreal. Pierre Trudeau.
Yeah.
He absolutely. Justin Trudeau just absolutely crushed Periscope or live streaming. I mean, I was watching him once. He had 400,000 people watching him. Are you kidding, guys? And that goes back to also politicians need to be doing this too. Yeah. You want to be a face. Well, get on live streaming.
Exactly. But it's quite the long journey in getting there. And where would you say, so Irene, you're just kind of getting started, sort of figuring out how things go. What were some of the triggers for you to say, hey, I needed to do this. I needed to just push that button.
First of all, it's all about personalities of those guys I'm watching, all right? And because one of the people who I respect incredibly and just follow in every possible media I can get him, point is that when he comes live every evening, okay, I've learned from him so much that he's doing it every evening for an hour and sometimes longer than an hour. And guess what? You're being part of this wonderful group of friends. All right. And they're live chatting. And I don't know what I like more, listening to him in one ear and just watching what people are saying over there, and sort of being, on the topic that I'm kind of passionate about. And that just creates this incredible social experience, which our simple tweets, pardon me, Keith, our simple tweets not creating. Okay. It's a real, very great. Yeah.
Takes it up a notch, doesn't it?
It's certainly so. I just enjoyed it, and I figured, okay, if I can do this in a way that maybe not so many people appear to see Irene, all right, but I love speaking to smart people, and these smart people can be incredibly engaging. So all I'm saying is I'm playing with idea how to do this sort of interview, but not your scripted interviews, but rather what we're doing here. How do you call it? Broadcasting, right, with few guests. So.
Well, let me pick up on the idea of, should we be using apps or should we be using software? Like, we're using StreamYard right now. Thanks for those great comments. We're using StreamYard right now, which was, it's the new Blab. We can have 4 people on the screen. We get a recording. We can have guests. We can see the comments. How does that compare with doing an app, Johnny? And then I want to hear from Irene, because you're right at the beginning. Why would you use software as opposed to an app, and why would you use app as opposed to software?
Mate, that's a real. I struggle to answer that question because I've used both, and why would I? For me, picking up my phone, hitting the go live button, putting a title, hitting the go live button gives me that instant access to millions of people straight away. And you know what? I don't really care if one person's watching. For me, that one person could make me a lot of money. With my business, it's a little bit more difficult for me to be using StreamYard or Ecamm or Crowdcast or whatever. What I want to do actually with the desktop stuff is starting interviewing customers or interviewing my staff. Or developing a show of Perfection chocolates or whatever product you're selling. So I'm actually contemplating on using that and splitting the camera, like using one camera to do similar to what I said about Blab, for using the camera for the product, and then having someone on there as well and talking about it.
But you said you're mobile right now, right, Johnny? Like you're using a phone on a tripod, or what are you actually using?
No, I'm using my desktop. No, man.
Oh, you are?
Man, no, 100%. Yeah, okay. No.
So really it depends on the environment. And if I may, like your environment, Johnny, is really kind of tactile. It's really come see, come watch. We'd love to be able to smell it too. But it's extremely thought-provoking based on, it's something that we want to touch, we want to taste, we want to do stuff with, we want to roll around in it. So you can do that in a live mobile device where it's something a little bit more formal, like this, for example. This is our kind of workshop, this is our workspace, and I think maybe that's the difference, is that you want to create that environment that you show people your workspace, ideally. And that
100%.
What about you, Irene?
Yeah. You know what? I'm thinking about starting a cooking show. Maybe that will help me. No, I'm not gonna do that. But no, point is, I played with the idea app versus software, and guess what? OBS. This is what is it? At least in the States, right? Very popular platform. And I was pushed by few experts, in-house experts over here.
Which platform, Irene, was that?
OBS. OBS.
Right.
And I did not find my way yet, because I would need to be doing what you're doing right now, Doyle, right? Making sure that, hey, people comfortable, I can get all the feeds, I can get the chat going, I can get myself presentable, those sort of things. So it's not about planning, it's rather about figuring out what's working for you, because if it's too complicated, you're simply not going to do it. So accessibility is a huge factor.
That's what we wanted to test throughout this whole Livestreaming Decoded series, is that you need to be able to use the technology, you need to be able to understand it. And there were some cases where it's like, you know what, it's just too much,
too hard.
You need to take a step back and say, okay, what do we really want to do here? We want a show, right? So everybody out there who's thinking about it, you want a live streaming show that you can, reuse for video and that sort of thing, but keep it simple. Just get started.
Exactly. That's going back to that MVP, right? Minimal viable product that you're comfortable to put out there, but you don't overcomplicate. Because again, I'm coming from software development world where we used to plan for years having waterfall development model, okay, where in 18 months we will be able to push out something. And I love how John is laughing. Yes, that's the world I'm coming from. But of course,
so we really democratized that ability to say, hey, grab your phone, install an app. You don't, look, and by apps, it doesn't need to be a third-party app like StreamYard. You just go with Instagram, you go with Facebook, you go with TikTok, and away you go.
That's what I was going to... Sorry, Keith. That's what I was going to say, Doyle, because I noticed, you're right, everyone's struggling with what do I do, how do I think the easiest and simple, if you're out there thinking about this right now, if you're watching us, you're thinking, oh, this is all too hard, pick up your phone and just do it on Instagram. Go to Instagram Live, push the button, or do your Facebook Live and walk around your business and have the camera facing away, not at your pretty face, at someone at the computer or whatever, and talk about what you're doing. You know, Irene could be saying, right, I'm doing my software. She's on her phone and here's some software. This is what we're doing, guys, blah, 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 et cetera, et cetera. And then once you build your confidence from that, then you go, okay, let's crank this up. Let's go to StreamYard. Let's go to Crowdcast. Let's go to OBS. Let's go to whatever, and start mucking around with it and pushing buttons and getting it all wrong again, but learning.
Yeah,
You just do it, right? The message is just start doing it, all right?
I want to pick up on a story that John and I share. 2 years ago, in July 2018, I might even post this today. I started my first show called Be Seen, Be Real.
That's right.
And I interviewed John in his shop in this exact format. And I said on that day, July 13th, I think it was, 2018, I don't know what I'm going to be doing next year, but I'm just doing this right now. And picking up on the idea that Irene was thinking 18 months ahead, we're coming at the world from a completely different environment. This is our 13th show of a 10-part series. Like, it was only going to be 10 episodes. That was it. That was all we planned. And we just keep going. So once you start, you just find your way.
True.
Be Seen, Be Real was good, and it was fine for 6 months, and it served a purpose. Then we did something else, and now we're doing Live Streaming Decoded, and now we've got the Live Streaming Challenge. Now we're talking to Johnny about IGTV, because it's just the idea is now that you can record it. TikTok is here, and there'll be more apps. So I think John's right. Just pick up your phone, have a go, and just gradually improve as time allows. And Irene's a great example of this. I only met her last week, and she is on our live stream. It's just enormous.
Keith, this is the power of your charisma, okay? Because Keith and we just met on my introductory call. Because I have to schedule my meeting in person, I only met online. So we started talking, and guess what? We hit it off like that, and we're going on. And Keith is telling me, why don't we press record? Because in my mind, we would record next week and week after, something like. He goes, no, let's record, and we did that. So, and I was so happy with the flow we got. So, yep,
perfect. We got any questions, mate? How's the team in the cloud going?
Yeah, not too bad. Last one was from Linda. She was talking about live streaming in terms of public people. Andrew Cuomo, he's the governor of New York, is crushing it in New York with live streaming as well. But I think we've been talking a lot about I think we're overthinking it too, right? And I think a lot of challenge for businesses to actually start. It's like they're worried, they're scared, they're not sure, they don't know what to push. And you know what? Is it about the topic too? Like, yes, we might be experts in our topic, in our industry, or whatever the case may be, but trying to articulate that, for me at least, it's quite difficult. I've found that, you know, if I do go live, I do kind of have to struggle sometimes because I'm not sure exactly what to say, and I'm worried about missing something or missing one of my key points that I wanted to talk about. Whereas, John, you seem to be very spontaneous, and you can just pick up a topic and away you go, kind of thing. So I think it does depend on their personality. So that's where you can actually find out, you know, how do you want to live stream? Maybe it is sitting back in an office environment and talking with people. Maybe it is just training people or teaching people or showing something new. Or in your case, it is, you know, on location, talking with people, showing them exactly what's going on. There's different personality levels, I guess, that each one of those requires. Do you agree?
I think the four of us have said the same thing. Just push the start broadcast button. And the truth is, yes, we are going to stuff up. I still stuff up too. Do I care? Not really. Do I want people watching me? Great. If they don't, bad luck. You missed out. I just here to entertain you, have a good time, and promote my business. I'm here to make money. That's the truth. But if you're too afraid to do it, and if you're afraid to do it, we're pushing you to do it. The four of us are here right now saying, please do it. The thing is, it's all about muscle memory. Remember, for me to lift 100 kilos, I start off with 5. So as soon as I do my first broadcast, it's going to be a disaster. When I go to my 10th, 20th, 30th, and 50th, I've got over 3,000. But, when you go to that, then you start going, oh, okay, this is what I've got to do. This is what I missed out. This is what I forgot. This is what I didn't. Oh, this is what I've got. It's like you guys. You guys did this not for fun, but you thought, let's just do it, see what happens. I mean, you guys have got, I reckon, another 20 shows to go. So you've got a long way to go. And the thing is, you're picking up on the mistakes. I've been watching you guys. You've picked up your mistakes. Okay, this doesn't work. That doesn't work. What are we going to talk about here? How do we do this? So it's just do it. Pick it up. The first one's going to be terrible, but trust me, 10 down the road, 100 down the road. Yeah, it's like Irene. She's done her show. Some of them didn't go that well, but now she's like, I'm ready. Let's do this. Who's the next guest? Chocolate Johnny.
Exactly. If I would, if I can make, the pass like that. Absolutely. And actually, one guest bring another guest nowadays. So it's beautiful. It's beautiful. I agree with you. Question, because you know what, we were raised in like 2 centuries ago, okay, when I was born and I went to school.
You don't look that old, Irene.
I learned how to write and read, okay, and all those 18th century was tough for me, yes, and on 19th it's gotten better. So with that,
did you go to school with Tolstoy?
Yes, exactly. Leo Tolstoy, my daddy, yes. And he was wearing, the Russian-made shoes, these special shoes that peasants were wearing. So, we were next in the shop just making them. You got it. Yeah, right. So what I was saying is that, all the schooling we went through, it taught us to be professional. It taught us to hold our ground. And when we represent a company, okay, we better do it with dignity because so many depends how we carry ourselves. It's easy when it's your own business, you can define that kind of behavior, but in larger place, people feel I have to be very serious because that's how people is gonna take me for this expert because I'm very serious.
Don't you think that's changing a bit now, Irene, with the way the social media?
It's got to be changing. I love watching my LinkedIn kind of stream, LinkedIn flow I get, and you can tell. And this is amazing. Okay, people telling me I should do the comedy show on what I'm seeing out there, but I want to protect my beautiful friends who are friends with me there on LinkedIn, so I'm not going to do it. But definitely I'm taking notes. And I'm taking those stories to smaller parties, but who knows? So all I'm saying is that absolutely. So you see companies who just in this world of 18th century where I was born, all right? They know how to read, they know how to write, they do everything right. And nobody's watching. Nobody. I can guarantee I was this person in 18th century, not long ago. But you see how some companies transforming and how people really opening up who they are. And you don't have to be extremely beautiful or have extremely beautiful, speech like I do. You have to forget about your accent or whatever you think you don't have, all right? But those companies absolutely progress. And it's just a pleasure. It's a pleasure to see what they're doing, so.
Let me pick up on what you've just said there. This idea that everything has to be in its place is a trap. Because for 2 things. One is the content slows right down, and 2, no one's watching it. You picked up on 2 very key points, yeah? Two people aren't watching your content, and it takes so long to get it to market. Like let me be very, very clear. It's day 1 of a 6-week lockdown. It's Thursday. I want to eat something on Saturday. I'm going to want to eat something Saturday, and I'm going to be scouring the internet for the restaurants that will deliver food to my house. I haven't got time for you to wait to get that organized. I'm hungry, and I'm going to be searching the internet at 7 o'clock on a Saturday night for food to eat. And I'm happy to pick it up, but if you deliver it, you've got me. And I haven't got time for you to wait to decide whether you want to do that, because there's there's 6 companies within 5 minutes drive from my house that are doing it. So the businesses that will adjust will win and survive, and the businesses that don't adjust will not survive. I mean, it's really quite as simple as that. Am I being too harsh, or is this the new reality we might be facing?
100%. That's
the reality is hard, right? It's not you, Keith. It's really the world out there. Yeah.
Yeah, but yet you still have businesses that are delaying the inevitable. I don't know. Maybe again, maybe it comes back to the fact that it might seem a little bit hard, might seem a little bit overwhelming. They're not sure where to start. So that's again one of the things
that I want to buy things.
Yeah, exactly. Look at your audience.
People want to buy things, but I have to know who they are. And in the world of social media, we are scouring, looking for entertaining and what we call infotainment. We want educational material that we enjoy watching. We don't want ads telling us what to buy. We want Chocolate Johnny talking about how to make donuts with caramel on it, because that's fun to watch. Yeah,
it is. I wish I want to have a chocolate business. One question I did want to ask, John, was Keith and I yesterday, we were talking about ice cream flavors and how those can kind of represent our audience, right? And so surely you must have some insight in terms of what kinds of people do buy certain types of chocolates, and you could probably take a chocolate and go, this person does this. I don't know. And I want to talk about
very deeply scientific, of course, right? Absolutely.
It's because we do chocolate caramel. They buy this one and they love it, and this is them. I can describe them by the chocolates they buy.
It's funny. It's funny you should say that because we make gelato as well, and I'm like, I'm trying to think what specific. I don't know. I might actually test that. I think I might do a little survey and see who buys the Rocky Road the most, and if they buy the Rocky Road, do they buy peanut brittle or are they just dark chocolate? And why do they like just dark and milk? And it's interesting. Interesting.
Well, I'd love to know the research on that, because then you could pick somebody out of the crowd and go, you're going to buy peanut brittle. You're going to buy chocolate. You're a dark chocolate person. You're caramel.
Well, we've called this show, Would You Like an App with That? Just imagine if you got really clever and you said, you know what, I've noticed that everyone who has boysenberry flavour always buys white chocolate. Always. So you could then start saying, hey, would you like white chocolate with that? And so suddenly, this is the scientific marketing brand that we have. We talk about the idea that someone who wants vanilla wants the best vanilla. Some people actually want vanilla flavor, but because they like the certainty of it. They like the comfort of it. Some people like chocolate ice cream. Some people like to try new flavors. Like I love trying new food.
So what I would do with the boysenberry white chocolate would be, Keith, thanks so much for coming. I'm so glad you enjoyed the boysenberry gelato. Oh, by the way, next week we're making a boysenberry and white chocolate. We'll see you then, right?
We're into field of behavioral economics here, right?
That's right, behavioral economics.
Yeah, totally.
That's what we do. That's what I train my team.
More donuts.
More donuts. Linda wants more donuts. You're making us all hungry. Oh my goodness. All right, so let's go ahead.
I'll just say we never upsell anyone. We just give them samples, and that's enough. We're like legal drug dealers. Like, okay, what would you like with that? So, would you like some honeycomb with that? A bag too?
How about some collaborations again here, John? Would you like some software? Okay, platforms over here for you.
I've got an idea. Why don't you? I know you're an iPhone man, but why don't you collaborate with Android and we'll create a new software package called Chocolate Ice Cream? Because what's their current one? Kit Kat? No one. What's their current one? Apple Pie?
I don't know.
Android's current software, I think, is
their
called
operating
Pie.
system. Do you mean?
The operating.
It's called. They don't have like iOS 13. They have Pie and ice cream sandwich and Oreos and Kit Kat. Imagine Chocolate Johnny should go into the software business and partner up this is picking up on what Irene just said. She should partner up with the software company and create an operating system called boysenberry ice cream with chocolate chip.
There you go.
See?
Yeah, we do somewhere here. Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, good.
Irene, I'll send you. Irene, I will send you some chocolate, and you can do a live stream while you're eating my chocolate and teaching tech. How's that?
Yeah.
Hey, it's a deal. It's a deal, John. Yes, love making new friends who make chocolate.
And
Absolutely.
you need to send us some chocolate too, John, because you're on our show. So
just drop me, mate. DM, as I say always, DM me on Instagram your address, and the little Oompa Loompas will be sending it your way.
Oh, you'd make a perfect Oompa Loompa. So would Keith with his laugh.
The Oompa Loompas.
I
want my LinkedIn Live. I want my LinkedIn Live.
Oh, yeah, I want LinkedIn Live too.
Oh, you don't have LinkedIn Live, John?
Oh, mate, I am going to rattle some cages when I get LinkedIn Live. I'm really going to shake it up. I'm not going to do your typical stuff that I'm seeing on there at the moment. It's frustrating. I don't know what is going on with Microsoft, because Microsoft own LinkedIn, right? Like, boys, come on, hurry up. People are out there waiting for it. Anyway.
Yeah, exactly. No, my words exactly. But Keith makes fun of me because I keep saying, I want my LinkedIn Live.
You have it, Irene? Have you heard of it? Have you heard of LinkedIn Live? Have you thought of it?
I've heard of it. I thought of it, and right now it's on back burner because LinkedIn becoming more and more corporate. Okay, it used to be easy to jump on and do things on LinkedIn. Now there are tier 1 preferred customers, tier 2, and tier so many other customers.
It's so hard to use, isn't it? So hard to use. I mean, with LinkedIn Live, you have to apply for it. So we can say with confidence that no one on this call talking about live streaming has LinkedIn Live. Doyle has applied 5 times.
I've applied twice.
Just the idea that you have to apply for it at all.
Yes,
not missing the point.
Yeah, I understand.
But that's okay. All right, so let's quickly wrap up then. What do you find is sort of just a last kind of question, Irene and John? What do you feel is sort of the next step somebody should take in relation to apps and live streaming and that sort of thing? So Irene, do you want to go first?
Yes, so my next step is going to be, I'll be happy to report to the group over here that I did assess the platforms available. Okay, thanks to Keith and his kind recommendations. And when I'm going to turn on that camera and when I figure out the simplest way to get my guest in, just to begin with, right? So in a couple of weeks, that will be my personal commitment. I want to try something new. And this way I can have, a little bit more flexibility promoting live stream like you did for this one, right, today ahead of time, and sort of picking up the recording and doing whatever I want with it. It's my show. I do whatever I want. So I definitely need to get my feet wet with it. So thank you, the esteemed group over here. And I have a couple of friends actually in artistic community who is suffering very much with the galleries closed and all that. So I will spread the good word to everyone I can reach on tech community or artistic community, because you just inspired me that, it cannot be that hard. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you. And it's thanks to Keith's good looks, right?
It's all because of that. It's all he looks so smart with his headphone on. Yeah. Oh my God.
You look smart at this.
He looks very smart on that angle. Yeah, very smart. Yeah.
Strike a pose.
Yeah.
Actually, Johnny, you're like in the model live streamer pose here. Shoulder tilted.
All right. John is the thinker. Look at John. He's
the thinker. That's right, the thinker.
So, John, what's your kind of final tips or advice to get started?
My thing is,
be as awesome as you.
No, it's just push. I have my little saying: push the start broadcast button. Someone will watch you. Someone will follow you. Someone will join you. Someone will listen to you. You have a story. Your brand has a story. Your business has a story. Go and show us. Go and tell us. Come give us a journey of your life in your business. And that's it. Just do it. Don't be afraid. And you've got so many people supporting you all around the world. It's that easy.
It is. Fantastic. Thanks, John. And we can get in touch with you, Johnny Kapos at Chocolate Johnny on Twitter. Yeah. And any other ways we can get in touch with you?
Yeah, at Chocolate Johnny on most things, on Instagram, Twitter, etc., TikTok. Facebook is my name, John Kapos. I'm on LinkedIn as John Kapos. And I'd love you to follow us at Perfection Chocolate so we can tempt you with our good stuff.
And if you're in Rose Bay, pop into the shop. I've been there. It's unbelievable.
Oh, okay.
It's a shop. It's a full-on chocolate. Like, everything is really glorious.
Wow.
You can get the ferry. You guys in Sydney are not in lockdown, so you can leave the house. While you can, jump in your car or get on the ferry and go to Rose Bay and go to this shop and take a photo with Chocolate Johnny and send it to me.
Maybe he'll do a live
and
video.
that's what I do. When people come in, I give them the time. I had a food blogger reach out to me, and the guy only had 5,000 followers. I had some people say to me, "Oh, don't waste your time." I said, "No, I didn't waste my time. The guy was a lovely guy. He came in, we took photos, I gave him chocolate. I made him feel part of the family and part of the business. Like he was part of the business." And that's what, like Keith and Doyle, that's what we've been saying. You guys have to do this to make you people feel part of your family and your business. You know, we're in these lockdowns. Let's just, get out and share
Make
it.
the best of them. Yeah, fantastic. And Irene, I got you're on Twitter as well at lyakovetsky. Is that correct? Did I get that right?
Absolutely correct. Yep.
How was my pronunciation, Irene?
It's only half of my last name, so you managed this far, but we're gonna practice for weeks. You know, in 18 months, you will get there with no problem.
We'll have a live stream on that later. How else can people reach out to you?
To me, I'm on LinkedIn and I'm on Twitter. So those things, I'm accessible and I'm very responsive. So absolutely, yeah.
Perfect.
If anyone out there has something to say about business and tech, let's have that talk on Soga Talks. Yeah. Totally.
All right, excellent. And you can reach Keith at Keith Keller, myself at Doyle Bueller. And if it's okay, I'd just like to quickly talk about our live stream challenge coming up. It starts on the 20th of July. Keith, you want to give a quick little rundown?
Yeah, well, with everything that we've chatted about today, not everyone is ready to just push go. So we are in the process of creating 9 really lovely videos, 9 days, one a day. And we're just basically going to give you a small 5-minute video on what to do that day to prepare for pushing go on day 10. And on day 10, we've created a Facebook group. We're only broadcasting inside the Facebook group. It's extremely safe. And everyone in the group will be supporting each other, going on each other's live streamings, buddying up. And by day 10, you would have done a live stream and you would know everything there is to know about tech and audiences and the different software. I'm extremely proud of what we're achieving here and what we've actually achieved in this 12-week period since we started. We're just making it up as we go, because people need to know that they can push go and it's not hard. Is that a good synopsis? How would you sum it up?
Absolutely, 100%. No, exactly. We want to be able to create that environment that it's safe, it's comfortable. You're going to find your gusto in there to be able to say, hey, what's my audience? Who are they? How am I going to talk to them? What flavors do they like? Right? The building blocks we need. How, in terms of tech, can we start with? And again, it's just about starting. It's not about creating the next CNN or ABC or whatever kind of massive TV station. And then finally, it's your content. How are we going to organize your content? How are we going to take you through that so that it becomes a little bit easier, becomes more second nature? And I think that's a huge barrier as well, is that we're not quite sure what we want to say. So you know what? Let's plan ahead and do that.
Plan ahead.
Yeah. So if you want more information, please go to bit.ly/livestreamingchallenge. It's invite only, so please, if you are interested, please drop us a line, get in touch with us as well. So thank you so much for that. And again, we start July 20th as well. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe. If you've been watching, if you've been asking questions, thank you so much for everybody who has participated. I couldn't show quite every question or comment that's gone up, but really appreciate your time. Thank you so much to our wonderful guests, John and Irene. Been fantastic. Had a fun show as well. And thanks to my co-host. What's your name? Keith. Yeah, Keith. All right. So
Oompa
thanks.
loompa.
Yeah, Oompa Loompa. Yeah, let's do some more Oompa Loompas. I'm so hungry now. I need chocolate. Go to get some from Johnny's. All right,
Okay.
cool. Thanks, everybody. And have a good day. And we will see you all
Do
online.
we do the waves? Do we do the waves?
Yeah.
Do we do the waves?
Do the wave.
See you guys. Thank you.
It was so much
Perfect.
fun.
Thanks so
Thank you.
much.